Okay. Well, thank you all for joining us again here on the Vantage Point YouTube channel. I'm Lindsey Walsh, the Assistant Director, and today I'm talking with Lem Robertson, who is one of our Mary Baldwin students, and I'm going to let him introduce himself.
Hi everyone, my name is Lemuel Robertson, but everyone at MBU knows me as Lem. And I'm a music student studying music with a emphasis in vocal performance. I am a rising junior now. No, I'm a rising senior now.
Senior.
With this semester being over, I am going into my senior year. Yeah, I hail from Nashville, Tennessee, where I am now, back home. And yeah, I'm glad to be able to talk to y'all today.
Awesome. Well, Lem and I first met when I was working as part of our admissions team at Mary Baldwin. And so I definitely got to know him really well through that experience. And I think you've even touched on this a little bit in your admissions essay, like to throw it in the Wayback Machine. But today we wanted to talk about strengths, and especially in these trying times, how really understanding your personal strengths can help you. So, Lim, tell us about some of the things that you've discovered are your strengths through the years.
I've discovered one of my biggest strengths is my adaptability. Um,
Mhm.
I see myself as I have a Darwin type of mindset. And when I say Darwin, I'm speaking of Charles Darwin, where he was saying that everything evolves and adapts to their situation.
Mhm.
And I see that I do that often. Some people may call it set change, and I say it's surviving where you have to survive. Never do I let go of my ideals or what I believe in, but I do make sure that everything that I do adapts to the situation. I know that I have to read the room, read your audience, and I know I have to read the situation in a way that's going to make sure that not only I, but the people around me are getting the best of what they need. So I keep fighting for everybody to work. I keep fighting for everybody going forward. I don't allow ourselves to become stagnant, because as soon as we become stagnant is right when success and where progress stops. And I
Mhm.
feel like adapting to your situation allows you to keep moving, to keep going, and not allow yourself to become just still and be frozen in place. I see it as a hamster wheel or treadmill mentality. If you keep just running and running and running and running, eventually, once you do come out of a situation that may have you standing still, you will have the ability to go forward.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
pain.
let's bring it to a real life example. So, Lem, tell us about what your summer employment plans were and what they are now. Let's put
So,
adaptability real time.
so my employment plans at first were for me to come back home to a job that I had had for a couple of years now. Um, we had I had an understanding, or at least I thought I had an understanding with my job, that I was going to come back and I was going to work as we had done for 2 years now. That was not the case. When I came back home, when I was on my way back home, I called them as was customary to talk about, hey, what we're going to do about the job. When can I come in? When can I get, added back to all of the things that encased me coming back.
Mhm.
They told me that they did not have a job for me, in the sense
Mhm.
that they had jobs, but none of them were for me at this point in time.
Mhm.
I was a little bit thrown aback, because I thought that we had the understanding that I would be coming back to the job.
Right.
They said I would not. Therefore,
Mhm.
I realized that, okay, at this moment I'm employed. At
Mhm.
this moment, I need to get another job. So as soon as I did get home and got finished with my school year, I
Mhm.
applied for another job. Actually, I applied for a few jobs, and I got a few calls back, but I chose the best of them all at the moment for me.
Yeah.
That being said, I I'm going to be working at the end of this week with Amazon at one of their fresh produce warehouses.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fact that I didn't allow the fact that something didn't go the way I thought it was going to go to push me down and discourage me. I allowed it to motivate me to go forward.
Yeah. Which I think is definitely, I mean, adaptability is definitely one of your strengths, but I know it's not the only one. And we talked about a couple before we started recording. So, what would be another of your strengths that you feel like you've been able to lean into during these hard times?
My persistence, perseverance, in a sense. Uh, as we all know that times have been hard recently with coronavirus, with a lot of people not, figuring out exactly what's going on with it. And I've gotten to a point where I realize that yes, it's here, but I can't allow it to control my life. I can't allow it to, as I said before, with the adaptability, stop me from moving forward. I think I persist through times of hard trials and tribulations. Another one of my strengths, what I would say, would be my spirituality, because when they, because I'm a Christian. I believe deeply in the Bible. I'm also a licensed minister, and one of the quotes that I always use that comes from the Bible is, "Through times of trials and tribulation, know that times of blessing are coming." So these trials and tribulations are happening now, but you know that your blessing is going to come. So one of the things I see is that we're going through a hard time. We're going through trials and tribulations right now. We are finding out what we are made of in this crisis, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But the Lord didn't put more on us than we can bear.
Mm-hmm.
So that when I see that, I realize that He wants me to keep moving forward so He can see what I can actually take on.
Right. And I would almost kind of counter though, because in our office we talk a lot about strengths, but also values. So I definitely think your persistence is a strength that you have, like you're not going to give up. But I would counter that instead of a strength, your religion is actually a value that you have, right? Like it's somewhere that you find connection with something greater than yourself. It's where you find a support system. So it's really important to know what values you have during this time too, and maybe it'll help you realize some of them. So,
Yeah,
but
well, I agree with that. I agree with that 100%.
yeah. Well, tell us, keep going, because I know we've got, so far we've covered adaptability, definitely persistence, and then connecting with that value of spirituality. What's one other strength you feel like has really been something you've leaned into?
My ability to be a jack of all trades, I guess you could say. And
Curious, I would say. Your curiosity is your strength.
my curiosity. Um, I've worked in many different fields throughout my entire life. I've worked on lawns with my grandfather. I've done odd jobs with my other grandfather when we went around and just building and constructing things for people. I've worked with my dad on doing handyman things around the house. In the employment world as a whole, I've done food services, I've done security, and I've done hard labor. I'm going back into hard labor in a sense, but this is a little bit different with the Amazon produce. I feel like I'm curious, and and I've also done music for my entire life.
Just a little bit of music.
Yeah, I mean, my music is my passion, and I think that all of the things that I do are just preparing me to be in a world where I doesn't matter what happens, I'm gonna be ready to work towards something. I believe that I have to always do something, because if I sit still for too long,
Mhm.
I'll start to get complacent. My curiosity keeps me moving forward. Um, One thing that I'm doing now that I don't have school at the moment and that I have a little bit of free time is I'm reading a lot more. Um,
Okay.
Brushing up on reading materials, things that I told myself I was going to read for a while. Um,
You're
And
taking care of yourself. Personal development. You're making yourself a priority, man.
I'm reading. I read a book recently. I can't tell you the name of it. I can't remember the name of it for the life of me. But it was one of the things the things not taught in high school.
Okay.
And it was a book. It's a throwback for me because I read it before, and I was like, let me read this again. And it doesn't only talk about the things you can't be taught in high school. It talks about the things you can't be taught in college either. And it talks about persistence, moving forward. The things that I've said about we have talked about when we come into our strengths. It talks about how you might not be taught this in high school or college, but these are life lessons that you need to tune into. Old book. I don't even remember where I found it. It just popped up one day in my room, and I was like, there it is. And so I read it, and it reaffirmed me because recently it's been a hard time for everybody. Nobody can say that they're just gonna get through this scotch free. Everybody is gonna go through some sort of transformation because of this time. And I feel like it told me, you've gotten this far. You can't stop now. And that's what I'm making my mentality of right now. I've gotten this far. I can't afford to stop now. Fighting forward with every breath left in my body. And that's what I think it is. My curiosity is going to drive me to new heights and new skills so that I will be a jack of all trades. I want to be able to adapt to any situation. I came in as a biology major, and I switched over to psychology when finally coming to music. But I never forget the analytical mind that comes with the sciences. I never forget the deeper insight that you have to have and the development that you have to look at when it comes to psychology. And then I put it all together with the things I'm doing in music to just make sure that I analyze everything like it's an experiment. I see the development of things like it is the human mind, so I can put it together and I can tell why the music is formatted in this way. Everything.
They're linked.
I have to make sure that I connect everything together because that's how it makes sense for me.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's a combination of your adaptability and your persistence, but I mean, thinking about your work last summer in hospitality and then coming home and now going to work for essentially like a delivery. I mean, obviously Amazon's much bigger than that, but you're helping with the delivery aspect. I think you're really highlighting that sometimes when times get tough, we might not have our first choice of options, but that doesn't mean that we should put any other options off the table. So like you mentioned, you filled out a couple applications. So like give us the whole gamut. Like what were some opportunities that you found and were curious about?
So I before I even came home for after winter break, I was already looking at job opportunities for the summer. That's the type of thing I do. I think ahead. One of the job opportunities I got was with one of my associates that I met while I was working hospitality. He was security, and he told me that once I come home, he said once you come home for the summer, look to me for a security job. And I was like, yes, okay, sure. Like I have my unarmed security license, so I was like, yes, I'm definitely gonna look to you for that. So I talked to him, and he was like, we don't have anything at the moment due to what's happening at the moment. He said, but as soon as we open back up, come to me and I have an application with your name on it. So that's already something I was looking at. Security. I was also looking at grocery working, working in Kroger's, Aldi's, and Walmart. And I got calls back from them. But the one that really just stuck out to me the most was when I applied for Amazon and they replied the exact same day saying, we are looking for people.
Yeah.
Please fill out this work. And when you come in, we'll have everything laid out and we'll finish it that day. When
Okay.
the other places were like, oh, okay, so you filled out your application online. We're going to have you come in, do some more paperwork, and then you'll see if you get the job. But Amazon was like, you pretty much have the job. Just finish your work. Just finish your paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
And later on today, I'm going to have to finish a little bit more paperwork, watch a few videos for my orientation, and then I'll be working Friday, and then so on from there.
That's awesome. So.
Yeah, and I've already started working. I was working with my father. We were talking about doing some handyman things. We went and we painted about a week or two ago. Went and started painting someone's house, and we got paid pretty well for that actually. 'Cause paint's not cheap, and the labor is not easy. But we went out there and we painted. Have pants and a shirt that tells a story.
Oh, the sweater you have on. No, I'm just kidding.
No, this is one of my favorite hoodies, but it wasn't this one.
Yeah.
But we went and we did a lot of paint work, and we got paid pretty well for it. So I'm not gonna allow myself to just sit down. Like even today, like I said, I have things I'm going to be doing later and things I did before. But I am definitely glad that we can take this time to talk.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, I think we've covered a lot of ground so far in the conversation. So I guess we'll drive it home with this last question, which is if there are students that are getting ready for college or might be just starting their college journey, of course, what advice do you have for them about discovering their strengths? And then what advice do you have for them about really embracing their strengths through the college process?
Okay, so the biggest thing I will say about discovering your strengths is there's a test. If you can remind me, what's the name of the test?
So Clifton Strengths.
Take that test. I'm actually going to take it myself very soon, and maybe Lindsey here will be able to give you an update on what my strengths actually were after I take the test. But one thing I say to all college students coming in is your biggest thing that you need to know is that college is not high school. College is not anything that you have experienced before. Accountability for yourself is going to be the biggest thing you're going to have to do. Everything you do now affects what you're going to do later. The preparations you make before college are going to affect how you work in college. I say it like this: your rehearsal is going to be your performance.
Nice.
High school was a trial run. High school was the demo before the real game. Now you're in. This is the game.
Nice.
But there's no replays here. There's no restarts. There's none of that. This is it. This is where you get into the real world. I see college as an eye-opening experience for everybody who wants to become a self-sustaining adult. College is real. It's not easy, and it's not going to be easy, but that's the beauty of it. If college came easy, everybody would have a college degree, and then no one would be unique in their experience. One thing I say about discovering your strengths is you're going to work, and you're going to see what you're made of once you come in. Some people are paper, some people are rock, and some people allow this to turn them into diamonds. So while you have this heat and this pressure coming down on you, allow yourself to be crushed into a diamond. Don't fold like paper and don't crumble like rock. Your strengths will be the thing that carries you through. Your weaknesses will become prominent, but when you know what your weaknesses are, that is when you can improve upon them.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that
And find
everybody,
teammates that complement that, right?
yes, and you will find teammates. I found a
Mm-hmm.
teammate in Lindsey when he recruited me to this college. I was like, okay, she recruited me, it's over. She's not gonna. And then a few weeks into my college experience, she's like, hey, and I was like, I didn't think you would be on campus. First off, I
Here I
thought,
am.
and then we started talking, and we went and got lunch
Mm-hmm.
because Mary Baldwin, at least, is invested in you going forward. They don't just see you as a number; they see you as a person, as a student.
Mm-hmm.
I know staff members by name. I know campus. I know the people who work there by name. They're not just I'm the director of the. No, they're Lindsey, they're Nell, they're Dr. Jeffries.
Mm-hmm.
You know people by name. You connect with them more than you would just somebody at a bigger university. Now, I'm not spitting on bigger universities. They're great in what
Yeah.
they do.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Mary Baldwin seems more like a family
Right.
in a sense. A very big, extended, sometimes dysfunctional family, but a family nonetheless.
Sure.
And I feel like once you get there, you will form. One of the things I say that you need to start working on now, networking.
Yeah.
Network as much as possible as you can during this summer.
Mm-hmm.
This is the time for you to brush up on any skills that you might need for emailing, communication, even taking a few classes on public speaking, working on your how you can do with essays, and working on your work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're going to have a good work ethic to be able to go into college.
And update your virtual profiles, right? Like your
Definitely,
your LinkedIn.
definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I've been rearranging my resume and having a template for a cover letter already typed out. I'm preparing myself for what's going to happen once I get back to school, because eventually I'm gonna have to start sending out resume transcripts and cover letters to more universities, because I'm thinking on graduate school. I'm already thinking ahead.
Mm-hmm.
This is my last year, so anybody that's coming to Mary Baldwin, I'll see you there. And if you need help with anything, give me a shout, because I'm there. I'll be around.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Lim, for all of your advice today, for taking a moment to tell us about your personal strengths, which include persistence, adaptability, and identifying your values. And then I think, too, being a resource for other people. I think you've really done a great job of trying to help those around you, which I think is really a skill. So. But we'll have this up on YouTube so folks can tune in, and hopefully we'll see you on campus real soon.
You'll definitely see me on campus. Campus is opening up.
That's the word right now.
We'll be back the 31st of August. So, well, I'll be there a little bit early because I got stuff I got to still do. But I will see all of you there. If you need help loading anything in, my maybe Lindsey will put my Mary Baldwin email in the description. Also, another thing to put in the description, if you don't mind, Lindsey, is plug my YouTube in. VAU-Lemuel Robertson. I'm a spoken word artist and a musician, and there I'm going to be not only doing spoken word art and music. I'm also going to be doing. I might be doing a few talks. I might be doing a few little updates, story times, things to get you tuned in, things for you to just relax, something for you to listen to in the background. I mean, my faces and my reactions are a little bit humorous, but it is also something for you to hear, something for you to tune into. I think that everything I should produce and put out into the world should be golden, and you have a story you should be told too. So tune in to the AU That's D and then A and U hyphen Lemuel Robertson, LemuelRobertson. Hope to see everyone there, and I hope to see some views and some subscribers. Tune in.
Awesome. Bye, Lem.
See.